The next thing that I'm going to show you, what are closures. So what are closure functions? Well, closures are in essence, by definition, a combination of function and the lexical environment within which that function was declared. So the environment consists of any local variable that we define and that were in scope at the time of the closure was created. So simply put, we have a function and everything that's inside this function is the scope of this function. But when other functions use these functions, they get the data or the variables that are defined in that function. So the first function. Okay, I will call this function console.log.me and I will pass the value of 1. This will console log 1 at the end. So if I don't pass the value, I will get an error. So it's undefined. But what if I change this function and make it to function expression first? So let's say var console.log.me is equal to function. We pass the value a, and I will define a with the number 2, and I will return the value. So let's say return a, and I will call the function, and I will call this function down below in console log. So log this function, and let's see what will happen. So it's undefined. I will remove this parameter that's passed to the function, and it will return the value 2. So what's happening? Well, JavaScript is a little different than other programming languages, and the value that's out of the scope, out of this function expression, is available without passing the argument. So technically this is a closure, but I will go through definition that you can read in books about closures. So the next example will show you how the functions work as a closures. Okay, inside this function, I will declare another function expression. So let's name it variable add more people. Okay, like this. Function. And I will put an argument inner. So I will add something inner, and I will return a plus inner here, like this, and remove this a, and let's return this function here. Okay, there is an error. I'll just change it and run it, and you can see here is nothing happening still. Okay, the next thing will be I'll define another variable here, add more, and it will be new function, and it will use this one, so the main one, console log, like this, and I will pass a parameter 3. Let's run it. Still nothing happening. I will actually remove this a. I will say it's outer, and I will pass as an argument also here in the main function outer, and here add more, new console log me. Okay, I'll put a value, let's say 2. Let's console log it. Nothing, still nothing. But if I call the console log, and I'll call this function add more with value, let's say 7. So 7 into this should be 9, and it is. If I change it here to 1, it should be 8, or change it here to 2, it will be 3. So what's happening exactly? So this is in essence closure, and you can create as many functions as you want using closures. Closures are pretty much carriers of variables that are defined inside this scope. So it's kind of a way of encapsulating the variables or wrapping them inside, and after that using them in other functions.